we're going to follow Davroid Gravelheart. Now, as a quick reminder, at the end of the last session, the gang had met up and gone over the clues we discovered relating to this strange incident at the circus. We think there was an assassin there. We dug into the clues a little bit more and followed the leads that we had. So that meant following an underground contact of Armis's and kind of ambushing him and trying to figure out if he orchestrated anything. Turns out he was a middleman between a buyer and an assassin, and he gave you some of the least helpful descriptors in the world. He was like blue cloak, elven. So you've got really nothing to go on here, and we've kind of hit a dead end on that leg of the investigation. And so at the end of our last session, the group had decided we're going to take this information back to Chasm Jasper, who is essentially our boss, and see if he can use any of his more official resources to kind of quietly follow up on this and see what else we can glean. However, on your way out of the city to meet back up with Jasper to head to your remote woodland cabin up in the mountains, Davroid sneaks away a little bit, and we're going to enter tonight's adventure following Davroid Gravelheart. Davroid, describe to us where you're going and what you're doing.
So, Davroid would have told the group, hey, go on without me, guys. I'm gotta grab some fresh clothes for my house. And then he would slip away from the group, and then he's gonna make extra sure that he's not being followed.
Okay.
If you want me to roll something, I can.
You are certainly welcome to tell me what you'd like to roll.
I guess it would be... I guess it's just like a perception skill to being tracked. Or like perception...
It's gonna be a might, a speed, or an intellect task.
Sorry,
and remember,
intellect.
Yeah, you get to decide how he uses his different abilities. So if he's going to do it cognitively, then let's roll an intellect task, and you can, add in your relevant abilities and stuff.
Yeah, he's going to do an intellect roll to perceive the, just general space around him and make sure no one's actually following him.
Here's what I'll say. It's a difficulty level 6 to guarantee with certainty that you're not being followed. But lower than that doesn't guarantee you are. It just means that someone might be a high enough level that you don't perceive them if they follow you.
Okay. That's
a target roll of 18.
Okay. I have a task called I'm trained in any task that involves finding or noticing small details.
Sure. So that eases it to a 5.
And then I'm going to spend 2 levels of effort.
Okay. So now it's a level 3 task with a target roll of 9.
And I'm going to roll. That's a natural 1.
That's a natural 1. And you get hit with a GM intrusion right off the bat. That's a GM intrusion with no XP for you.
XP to re-roll.
Oh, you could spend an XP to re-roll it.
I will spend an XP.
Okay.
I gotta help. I'm sorry. I had to dive in there.
I don't mind. I'll go back to the
gentle music. That's a 12. A modest 12.
A modest 12. There you go. So you're confident that you're not being followed. Go ahead and continue building the scene for us.
So Davroid will first go back to his house because he did admittedly want fresh clothes. Just the feeling is good to him. It's familiar. So he's gonna put his old clothes inside of his dirty laundry hamper, which is very he has a very clean house. It's very organized and neat, and he's gonna pull a fresh set of clothes off of the hangers and dust them off, put them on.
What kind of clothes? What's the outfit look like?
It's the exact same. He only has one outfit, so it's the same khaki pants, a nice button down. He just has 5 sets of the same pants, same shirts. And then once he's freshened up, he's gonna head to the Darkening Memorial. I forget which tier it's on.
That's on the first tier. It's the whole way down on the royal tier of Gaim. The Darkening Memorial. I'm sorry, no, this one's on the 3rd tier. The first tier of Gaim is a memorial to Four Guys, Ventures, and Vibes. On the 3rd tier. So the 3rd tier, one of the richer tiers of the city, one of the more expensive ones, and especially now where it's late in the day, the races have ended, so we're talking approaching midnight. Down here where the rich, civilized society, so to speak, is, everyone's in bed. So you're walking kind of alone between these massive pillars that support all the tiers above you, and it's all ornate facades on the front of the buildings, big murals and kind of gold finery worked into the stone and things. It's very artisanal here on the third tier. And as you approach, you come to a large fountain, and the fountain is not. There's no water at the moment. The fountain gets switched off in the evenings, but the fountain is in the shape of a boat that is suspended over clouds, but the clouds would be made of water. So there's just kind of general stone, like suggestive outlines almost for the clouds, like an abstract when the fountain is switched off. And then at the top of the boat, standing up on like a little nest area at the back of it, there is a kind of a memorial to like, I don't know, maybe fallen heroes or past heroes or something. So there's a Hematetian with a fedora, and there's a couple other adventurers who are up there kind of like gazing into the distance. And then there's a big flag coming out of the center of it that is just made of pure gold that kind of stands there proudly with, on one side, the sigil of Gaim, and on the other side, the sigil of Udril, the other dwarven nation. And that's where you are. You're standing there.
Yeah, so he's going to approach the statue, kneel down at one of the like vases with flowers in it, and he's going to lift the vase up and just dig like a little bit into the ground where there's a like a canister, like canteen for like letter sized pieces of paper rolled up, and he's going to see if there's anything in it.
There's a letter there for him.
He's gonna pull that out and read it.
Do you want me to tell you what it says, or do you want to tell me what it says?
I would like you to tell me.
It has a date at the top of it and a very briefly scrawled message. Just says, wish you were here. Things have been kind of crazy lately. Miss you. And then at the bottom, stapled onto it, there is a very small piece of parchment with an arcane illusion on it depicting a person who you can describe however you want. But it's just an up-to-date depiction of that person.
Okay. He will take that piece off. I believe I said Hematetian. A tall Hematetian woman with, well, yeah, and she's like much more like, or with her in like a flower or like sundress, with a lot of like gem related jewelry around her wrists and neck. And so he's gonna pocket the image, and he's gonna flip over the note and write on the back himself, I've been given a new assignment that could be the fresh start that we're looking for. Hopefully this gets us to where we want. I miss you too. And then he's gonna put that back, like roll it up, put it back in the canister, and then put the vase back on. And he's gonna get up, just like look longingly at the darkening statue, and then pull out the picture again and just study it closely.
As ever, the heroes on the top of the ship seem to stare past as if they don't even notice you're there.
He's gonna make his way to his mentor's house.
It takes a little bit of travel, but she is on the 5th tier, so that's still pretty easy to get to. You kind of pass by Grubbugs, Clubs, and Mugs. You head down, you cross a couple other pendants, you pass by maybe a late night, kind of like a taco truck type deal, and eventually you find yourself outside the house. It's kind of a plain house, very nondescript, very functional, and you're standing in front.
He's gonna pull out another piece of paper and write on it, I'm sorry for the secrecy. We've been sworn not to say anything. I genuinely appreciate your help and information. And I hope that I can tell you all about the assignment once it's over. And then he's going to just put DG at the bottom. And then either mailbox or just slide it under the door. Or if there's a mailbox, he'll put it in the mailbox. Otherwise, he'll slide it under the door.
Great. So you slide it under the door. And anything else you're doing?
That is it.
With one last glance over your shoulder, Davroid heads back to meet up with his friends. Or at least, if not his friends, his forced coworkers, back up in the mountains at the old cabin there. And you know what that means? It means it's story time at the Winged Badger Tavern, and we will be right back.
The hell is this?
The world of Urda has regressed, Jasper. Whatever else happened 100 years ago, magic is wild now, and that's dangerous for everyone. If I send soldiers or even the Guardians, the world of Urda will see a conquest no matter what I say. But we can't control a mercenary company.
Okay, what are you proposing?
Am I supposed to look at the camera, look away? I don't understand these things.
If you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna find you.
And then he just pretends to fall over and goes, "Ow, I have been injured."
You hear him say "king me" as he throws down a full house on the tape. He looks pretty feeble, but one time someone saw a kid try and mess with him and he slapped him really hard with the cane.
So they're supposed to be what? Some kind of arcane janitorial squad? Who's gonna lead a team like this? No, don't look at me!
Welcome back to the Winged Badger Tavern, where friends tell stories. I'm joined by some of my friends. Friends, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hello, I am Jake, and I play Willard Taffy, the exiled dirt speaker who throws with deadly accuracy.
Hello, I'm Mike, and I play Armis, a sharp-eyed spider speaker who works in the back alleys.
Hello, I am Trevor. I play Davroid Gravelheart, a perceptive dwarf speaker who separates mind from body.
And hello, I am Cleo. I play Frode the Forsaken, a tongue-tied hematician, explorer. You know, he fucked around and found out, blah, blah. We all know about the thing.
And I'm Josh, your Winged Badger Game Master. Without further ado, let's jump back into tonight's adventure at the Winged Badger Tavern. And so we find ourselves, it's nighttime, the moonlight kind of putting a general glow across the mountain range that contains the city-state of Gaim, built into one of the tallest mountains. We are on a neighboring peak, and we see Willard Taffy, Armis and Frode the Forsaken standing just outside the cabin, kind of leaning on some of the stone walls or stonework or whatever as you talk to Chasm Jasper. Davroid Gravelheart, you are walking up the path towards them, and so you rejoin them just as you're hearing Chasm say, blue cloak, huh? That's not super helpful. I can put in a word to look for Storm, though. You guys did a lot of digging for one day.
Yeah, we you know.
I didn't do any digging. I did a lot of throwing.
It's
Very true, Frode.
it's kind of a figure of speech, Frode. It's like
It's not. I didn't mean literally.
I don't know why you throw around words if you don't mean them literally. Frode just stumbles off to the fireplace.
Frode, as you step into the cabin to go to the fireplace, you are surprised and shocked as you walk in to see that there is a crew of craftspeople in there who are putting up walls on the inside, and there is a huge mahogany desk that's been moved into place. And you can see that there are some plans kind of nailed up to one wall for like renovations that are going to be taking place here in the cabin. And Jasper says, yeah, I was looking forward to surprising y'all with this. So the Queen's pretty impressed with the work we did that first day, and I may have embellished a tiny bit in my report, but I was able to basically reserve some resources from the royals' personal architects. And so we're going to have some renovations done up here. In addition, I was able to requisition a few resources for us. So check this out. And he walks someone over and says, for Frode, chat says, aw, chat gave some bits for Frode. He walks over to someone and says, check this guy out. And he puts a hand on, it's just a human, just a generic, the most everyman human you've ever seen. Literally fades away into the background as soon as you squint or like kind of look off somewhere else. You're like, oh, when? What do you look like? I have no idea. He goes, this guy, his name's Mickey. And Mickey is a transporter here. He's got one of these fancy contraptions. Tell us about it. And Mickey's like, hey, so my name's Mickey. I'm a laywright, so I navigate magically. I've got this cool platform. I can kind of channel where the magic is under the ground and use it to go really quickly to places. So basically, if you need to get somewhere far away, I'm your guy. And Jasper says, and then over here, I got Sarah. Come here, Sarah. Introduce yourself. And a tiefling walks over and says, hello, I'm Sarah. I'm an analyst. I'll be taking all of the information that you find, and I'll be finding the patterns, details, and meaning inside of it. I will also be sifting through the reports of unknown magical phenomena in the world to decide which things we should be responding to first. For example, I've prepared 2 reports here that I think you should decide between as your next problem to approach. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my data now. And she puts on a big, like, oversized pair of spectacles, like the Sheikah spectacle, and like walks back over to the mahogany desk where she sits down on a wooden stool that has kind of like a spinny top. She does 2 quick spins in place and then, like buckles back down to, she's just got a huge stack of parchment in front of her that she's going through. Jasper says, yeah, so we got some resources going for us here. In addition, mechanically speaking, players, you have unlocked your first group benefit here in the Cypher system. As you perform better and as you have more resources available at your disposal, they will give you access to some cool in-game things. Right now, because you have an analyst here who can help you understand data, each of you will start every new adventure. So every time you leave home base to go out on some other quest or plot line, you get 2 extra XP that you can use as data that you found or intrusions or whatever, just things that are available to you because you have the power of this analyst working behind you. And also because you have a transporter, you can now go places further away. For example, that weird storm cloud near Hembleyhoo is now accessible to you or anything like that. So you've kind of unlocked all this stuff and there's a little bit of a flurry of activity happening here. Willard, you note with some dismay that your hole that you had dug for yourself has been filled in as the floor is getting turned into a real floor.
Wait, where did my stuffed bear? Where did the spider bear go?
Oh, the spider bear's right here. They pick it up. They had like set your stuff aside, so they just show you where it is.
What about the hole?
The hole, Frode?
The hole in the wall.
They filled in the hole, Frode, because they were putting down a real floor. So
no, not his hole, my hole.
I don't understand the question, Frode.
I put a hole in the wall to let the energy flow.
Didn't you put a door over that hole?
No, that was a door. The first thing I came in here, I did.
They didn't replace that door, did they?
Where's that door?
We put a lot of work into that door.
The door is right where you left it. They were like,
spoons around.
Why touch perfection? This sequoia that you use your fists to pound into the shape of a door and then leaned against the wall.
Oh my goodness. My gunk is holding up really good on these hinges, guys.
What about the window?
The windows, it's there, it's just glass, but I mean, your hole has been closed, so if you want to open a hole in a corner of the room, you're going to have to go and punch a new hole through the wall of this cabin.
Frode just starts rocking a little bit.
Apparently there's tension in this scene.
It's all right, Frode. It's all right. I'm sure they didn't mean it. They didn't mean it. Jasper can apologize for getting rid of your hole, right, Jasper?
I don't understand. We closed a hole in the wall. That's a good thing.
The energy can't flow out now, and now if I rest here, then I'll just get the energy will build up and it will explode into the motion of damage. Jeremy gets it.
Your fireplace erupts in flame.
Thank God. I was worried Jeremy was removed as well.
Oh, his name was Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, yes, I don't even like him, and I remember his name.
Frode opens the window. He's like, it swings out. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, I thought, okay. Please tell me you didn't replace the roof.
You slowly look up, and as you look up, the roof has been closed and filled in with rafters and then a roof, so it's not open to the sky.
It's okay. Frode, go for a walk. You need to process this.
Okay, walking works off energy, and I'll just fill up the room with energy. I gotta leave. And he just goes out the front door, and he's gone.
He's gone. He slams the chunk of sequoia behind him.
Well, that was unexpected.
Jasper, you gotta at least be a little prepared for Frode to be upset when you change some things.
Just any change?
Come on, brother. You've been around here as long as we have. Yes, any change.
You realize that as long as you have is still just 3 days.
Yeah, but that's a lot of time for us to get used to that. Look, I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much for all this.
Yeah.
Only question I have is, how long is the analyst just a permanent installation? Does she live here now?
Yeah, Sarah's a gold warden. So I was able to reassign some people within my department to bring some other people out here. We had to obviously come up with a cover story for her and everything. I'm auditing finances. And then she goes back to what she's doing. But yeah, so I was able to basically requisition, some manpower and some resources and stuff. Oh, I got you this thing too. And he pulls out what looks like just a chunk of black rock and he hands it to you. This is for you guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Explain, please.
Oh, it's an obelisk thing. It's got some fancy, I don't know. Sarah, will you explain? I'm trying to work. Fine. She adjusts her spectacles and comes over and she lays just the very tip of her forefinger on the top of the rock and it glows and kind of floats in front of you. And she says, this is an analytic disc. And what it lets me do is take in information around you as you are participating in these unexplainable magical phenomena. I'm hoping that by collecting enough data points, I'll be able to start pinpointing what causes these kinds of unstable activity and maybe even help kind of channel and calm them in the future to where it can become predictable. Sort of like a weather forecast where we can notice clouds developing in the distance. I'd love to begin recognizing the signs of these arcane phenomena and being able to warn people in advance.
Golly, Davroid, you want to hang on to this? It seems like it's part of you'd like to write stuff down and take notes.
Sure, I got it. And Davroid will take it. Is it heavy?
No, it's very light. It's suspended in midair. It floats.
Oh, okay.
So Davroid's the one who's taking this?
Yes.
Okay, add analytic disc to your inventory. It is an artifact, and it has a depletion die of 1d10. So every time you use it, you'll roll a d10. And if it rolls a 1, then the artifact fails, essentially. So this is the last. It'll work that time, but that's the last time that it works.
For the day or ever?
Ever. It can be repaired, but that'll be the last time it works ever. What the analytic disc does, its passive, is that it is sifting incoming data and sending it back to your analyst, which means that you'll be able to get other updates. Its active ability that you can activate and roll the depletion die for is 1 time per episode, you can request analysis of something in the field. So whether you're facing a monster and you want an analysis of it, or whether you're holding a sample of something, or whether you're looking at a building and you want a blueprint, or whatever it might be, you can request an analysis. So that's something you can do once per turn. You don't need to spend any XP. You just activate the item, but you will need to roll a depletion die to make sure that it does not, the artifact doesn't fail after that. And that's what it does. It will obey simple positioning commands. So like I said, it's suspended in midair. You don't have to drag it around. You can point over there and say, I'm going to leave the obelisk by this tree or whatever. If you do nothing, it floats just above Davroid's head. And not close enough to like bump into it, but close enough that it'll duck under doorways with you and stuff. And it's just kind of a disc of black rock that floats around and glows a little bit.
Okay.
So,
he's immediately just gonna let it float over his head.
Cool. So it just kind of and kind of hovers over your head.
Willard looks up at Davroid and then also just kind of at everything that's happening in their cabin, and he just kind of sighs and says,
Edison is in the sheriff's department again.
This wasn't developed by Edison. This was developed by Four Guys Ventures and Vibes. They got a guy named Randy over there who really good at inventing stuff. Yeah.
Sounds like someone I know or wouldn't love anyway. All right.
Yeah, they're working on all kinds of cool stuff down there. I don't even understand all of it. I saw something while I was down there, some kind of vault or something. I don't know. Weird.
Oh, yeah. That, who was that? Davroid or
Yes.
Armis, perhaps? Did you, the thing, the sheet?
The blueprints?
Yeah. Didn't that vault something?
What oh goodness, I don't know. I take the paper out again. Is this what you're thinking of, Jasper?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be secret. How'd you get a blueprint of it?
Well, there was a criminal that had it, and we, in the course of getting our information, I had to, connect with one of my guys, and he wanted us to steal this, and we said no. But it seems like he wants it for whatever reason.
I think it was the same guy that was, I scared when I landed on him.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That's that guy. Scared really good.
Interesting.
I don't mean to get off track. Did Matt pop by?
Yeah, I had two weird visits. So a cat came by, and then like 5 minutes later, Matt came by. Some dude came by and told me that I thought you were supposed to be keeping a low profile, man.
We were, I didn't tell him too much. We just needed to let you know what we were getting. The cat made it, you say?
Yeah, a cat came by and it had like a little kind of note tucked in into a collar, and it was weird.
I gotta trust Frode more on some of his wacky stuff.
Can we not tell Frode this happened?
It can be our little secret, yes.
We could. All right.
I don't want him thinking he can send messages via cat.
Yeah,
and it worked.
But if he's capable of sending messages via cat, why wouldn't you want him to know that?
It just seems inconsistent.
It's pretty. Yeah, we won't.
Well, does he have a failure rate? How many times has he tried this and it hasn't worked?
According to him, it's like 50-50, which is quite surprising.
That is weird. Well, I'm glad you sent Matt then. He seemed really intent on learning how to fight. I don't know if you...
So, I was about my follow-up question. Is that a fancy little teleporter? Can that take me to the local improv theater?
Oh, it's not a teleporter. Mickey kind of walks you over and shows you. It's not a teleporter. It's a platform. And you see that it's like a big metal square, essentially, with like a key opening in it, essentially, where he can walk over and he puts his staff in it, and the whole thing kind of glows and floats above the ground. He says it channels magic straight out of the ground, like the natural ley lines. So it just propels along those. It just goes really, really fast. Built it myself.
So we that's incredible.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It just like launches us there.
Well,
as if I'm understanding it.
You'll stand on it, and I'll be on it, and we'll go there, and then you'll get off of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a transporter, not a...
Yeah.
Can it take me to the theater?
Probably not specifically to the theater. I'm still pretty new. Probably if you progress a little bit more and unlock more resources, I might get more accurate.
But Jasper, Frode told us that he just attaches messages to cats and tells them who to see. And I don't know how it works or why it works, if at all.
That does seem a little bit crazy. It's just occurred to me, Frode's out there on his own right now, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday,
he needs to release some energy.
Yesterday, we were being like shadowed and eavesdropped on and stuff, right? That was yesterday. That was last night. I'm not making that up.
Yes. And again today.
Again today?
Yeah, did we not mention that?
Oh, you did mention that when you told me all the details that I skipped, so you wouldn't have to say them. You totally mentioned that. Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe we should check on Frode.
Let's do that.
Let's go check on Frode. We cut to Frode, the Forsaken. Frode, you are outside. The door kind of slams shut behind you with an angry as you swing it back into the wall, your side of Sequoia, and you stomp off. What's Frode doing?
Okay. Better fight it again. And he heads off into the clearing he had found earlier, a couple days ago, that he had started building like a little shrine to attract fae or fae-oriented creatures, spirits of the like.
Great.
And so he comes down to his little clearing. He's like, okay, Okay. We've done good. We've learned a lot. We're doing okay. Don't let little obstacles stop you. All right, reevaluate. And he sits down calmly, goes down in crisscross applesauce style, and he pulls out little trinkets he had picked up on the way home, and these are like little, like a broken glass, a dime that had been cut in half and then abandoned on the street, little things like this or that. And he arranges them into a circle on the edges of the clearing within his reach. And then he sits down and meditates. All right. I found out about fey grass coming from Hembleyhoo. Losing memory lately. It's getting more dangerous. Gotten better with the blindfold, though, but that ain't a solution, Frode. That ain't a solution. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out sooner rather than later.
I'm going to pitch a GM intrusion at you that as you're going over all of the different facts and details that you've been putting together in your head, you out loud say aloud your thing with hats, that hats send you into a mindless rage.
These hats
Take an XP.
keep getting to me. Need to stop seeing hats. I've already lost my memory twice because of them. Davroid tells me it's fine, but I feel like I'm losing myself. Doesn't feel right. Feels like what happened to the Fae all over again. All right. Deep breaths. Relax. And Frode goes into a trance.
Frode goes into a trance. Frode, as you are in a trance, we cut back to Jasper and the other 3 members of the cleanup crew who jump out the front door of the cabin. This door apparently is only slammed because I don't have a normal door sound effect. So they slam the door open to go out and go looking for you. What's the group vibe here on, like, how do you want to look for Frode? He's probably walking off quietly. You know, how would you decide where to go when there's not a strong trail? Is one of you going to look for a trail, or do you have some intuition? How's this being done?
Davroid would want to look for like tracks left by Frode since they're unique given his size, and
that's a great idea. Frode is a tier 2 creature. And he's not making any particular effort to do anything, so this is a difficulty level 2 task. Target roll of 6.
I'm going to use my task. I have an eye for detail. Okay. I'm trained in that. 11.
You are able to find his trail, and so you begin following him. As you're following him, you see a little something kind of glowing in the trees off to one side, glowing a little orange. Do you go investigate that or follow the tracks? It is not in the same direction as Frode.
Is it far away?
No, probably not. You only see a glow right now. You don't see a source.
Oh, okay. Guys, do we address the glowing or do we ignore it and go to Frode?
I can go check out the glowing if you want.
Do we want to split evenly? 2 of us hit the glowing and maybe 3 of us go for Frode? Is that... I can go with the glowing as well, is what I'm saying.
Sure. I'm more than happy to have some company.
Okay.
You and Jasper? All right, fantastic.
Perfect.
Well, let's go, Willard. We start... Get on all my little hands and legs and whatever the heck I do.
And Willard will also get on all 4s and do a little mole dash.
Mole dash?
Mole dash.
Great. The 2 of you use various animal dashes to streak off into the night. And Davroid and Jasper continue looking for Frode. We'll find Frode first, and then... Actually, no, let's follow the 2 of you first, and then we'll follow Jasper and Davroid. So the 2 of you... Your camera's... Discord's doing a weird chat, so if If it freezes, that's why. Something's screwed up in Discord, and I can sort of jog its memory this way, but it'll freeze again. It's only a matter of time. Okay, the two of you rush off into the woods, and you're following this kind of orangish glow. It turns out that it's a very small light source, but very directed. And so the light is glowing from far-ish away. It takes you, kind of down the peak and up another mountain pass or something like that before you get there. And when you finally arrive at the source of the light, it is just winking out, and you see another orange light off in the distance. You're led like this for a number of trails. And when you finally arrive and catch up, you get to this sort of clearing where the moon is coming down, cool blue light, and then at the center of the clearing there is this dot of orange light just kind of glowing there, and you get this sense that something is not right with yonder dot.
Oh dear.
Can Willard use his acute sense of smell to try to get a little bit of extra information about what's going on, see if he can smell anything off or the presence of another creature besides just this light?
Absolutely, he can. You attempt, and there is no smell at all coming off of it.
Okay.
You would not be able to succeed on the task.
And I try to look around and see if I can catch a glint of anybody hiding anywhere.
Absolutely. That would be an intellect task, and you would not know how hard it is, so just roll and it'll be on a sliding scale.
All right, I am trained as sharp-eyed, which is good for perception stuff.
Great, so that adds 3 to your
think
roll, or eases the task by 1 level.
Trained as well in specifically perception actions.
Great, that's a 2nd level of easement, so plus 6 to this roll.
Oh my god, rolled a 3.
3, but plus 6, that's a 9. That would be a
Plus 6.
success on a level 3 task. You do not spot anything in the woods.
It's a little dark out here, Willard. I'm not really sure what's going on.
I
Do we
don't
keep
smell
going in
anything.
closer?
I think we approach cautiously. Yes.
Right. All right, let's go. Just kind of creep up on the orange dot, I guess.
Okay, the two of you approach very
Tiptoe.
slowly and gingerly. As you approach the yonder dot, shall we say, this kind of mote of orange light, you realize it's not suspended as you originally thought it was. It's not floating in the air. It is kind of keyed into the back of a little insect. There's a little praying mantis, and it's kind of emanating from the back of the praying mantis's head. This is a cipher. It is a sign of excess magic. So somewhere nearby, someone has used some sort of magic, and the excess has kind of spilled off and has attached itself to this grasshopper, which unfortunately has led you way off into the distance. You can attempt to identify what the cipher is. You can just take it and see what you get, or you can take some other action. What will we do?
You can take it if you would like. I'm not too partial to these things. But I think we should try to get back to where we first found it, because whoever cast a spell might be around there still.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try. I'll shoot my web at it and just try and grab it like that and bring it at me, and then collect the cipher.
The web goes straight through the cipher, but it does spook the little insect, who's going to jump and skitter a little bit away. He does not fully flee, but he just skitters away.
Okie doke. But the cipher's still there.
Yeah, cipher's still attached to it.
Okay, gotcha. I would like to grab.
You reach down very slowly and gently, and the insect spooks again and scatters off just out of reach.
What? Willard!
It's a scared little thing.
I'm not Frode. I don't know how to calm down a bug.
Do you think I know how to calm wildlife? I don't know.
I did just pick up a skill called Calm Stranger. That, if I may use, let me see, can cause it's an intelligent creature to remain calm.
I do not think the praying mantis counts as a stranger.
Damn
I
it.
think the stranger is meant for social interactions, and I would not call this a social interaction.
Golly, can I make a speed task?
Oh, yeah.
To try it?
That's a great idea. Difficulty
Great,
level
great.
of 2. Target roll of 6.
I say, and Willard can try to assist by trying to flank it. He's gonna.
I'll dig around it and see if I can get it to come to you.
Yes, good. Now that we're higher tier powered heroes, what we do is we ambush grasshoppers.
Yes.
That's a nat 20 to grab the grasshopper.
Nat 20 to grab the grasshopper. Let's go. You grab the grasshopper and you get a major effect. So what would you like your major effect to be in this moment?
Oh my goodness. I would like it to become a stronger cipher.
A stronger cipher? Is that what you said?
Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I'll allow that. So you can roll its power level with advantage. So what we'll do is you're going to roll 2d6 and take the higher roll, and Jake is going to roll a d20 for me.
All right. Got a 17 on the d20.
Let's go.
Okay, we got a 3 on the d6.
A 3 on the d6. You have a level 3 cipher of summon spirit animal. You can summon an ethereal animal or creature. You get to entirely flavor what it is, but it will be treated as a level 3 creature. So that means that it's a difficulty 3 task to hit it. It has a essentially like a level 3 to hit. So if it's attacking a creature of level 2 or lower, it's guaranteed to hit. And it has 3 hit points. So you have chat says Nimble was caught and successful music here. There you go. There's your cipher acquisition.
Yay.
However, what you also know, especially on that nat 20, is that this excess magic is here because somebody has summoned a spirit animal somewhere in the nearby vicinity, and this glow of magic is left over. We cut back from here to the shrine where Frode, you're sitting in quiet meditation. Either, I don't know if Frode gets bored or if Frode finishes the meditation. Like, I don't know how intense he is with his meditation, but you crack open one eye, and sitting in the center of all your little like bits and bobs of random crap that you just arranged is a small fox looking up at you.
Dare you call it random crap?
That's what okay. You know what? Your priceless recovered garbage. Sitting in the center of it, there's a small fox looking up at you. What would Frode do in that moment?
Hello. Welcome. Frode just kind of bows as he says that.
The fox wags its tail just a little bit as it looks towards you, and then reaches out with one of its kind of lucent paws and taps on one of the like things. I don't know how to refer to them if they're not garbage. Taps on a piece of broken pottery next to it, and scoots it towards you a little bit, and then sets its paw back down.
You find this one curious? All right, let's take a look at it. Frode picks it up.
The fox picks up another one in its mouth and hands it to you, or I guess mouths it to you. And then the fox.
I see, all right.
And then
this
the fox spins around and picks up a third thing, and this time it wags its tail at you and its eyes glitter playfully, and then it hops off into the woods.
Oh, I see what we're doing. And Frode puts down his things. Now come back here, you.
Frode follows it off into the woods. Frode, make a might defense roll.
Oh boy. Nice. All right. Boo. Oh. We're doing great today. We got a 4.
We got a 4. Frode, you are pinned to the ground by 3 creatures who have just leapt on top of you. You can't see them. You're face down. The fox, its eyes glitter now now the same glitter in its eyes don't look playful. It looks malicious as it kind of phases away ethereally into the night. You are very quickly blindfolded and gagged. And then a voice whispers in your ear, I got a hat right here. If you struggle, I'm going to pull this blindfold off and I'm going to send you over the edge. Davroid, you arrive in the clearing where Frode was perhaps a minute or 2 minutes before, and you see the random junk that he has arranged, and there's one piece of it missing. There are only Frode footprints, so you don't see any footprints from the fox, the spirit animal. But it appears that Frode stood up at some point and walked further into the woods. We cut back to Frode the Forsaken. Frode, the gag is slowly released, like tension is lowered on the gag so that you can talk around it a little bit, but you wouldn't be able to yell. Who's behind your operation?
Operation?
Yeah, this thing you're doing up here in the cabin. Who's in charge of it?
I'm trying to be in charge of what happened to that cabin, but they came in and started putting up walls and ceilings and disrupting the energy.
So they don't respect you?
That's what I'm saying. I came down here to reevaluate. Now you're over here disrespecting my circle. Nobody respected me today.
One of the other creatures looks up and goes, "Boss, what are you doing?" And the guy goes, No. We're not trying to disrespect you. We knew the hat would set you off, so we put the blindfold around you. Make an intellect roll he's trying to charm you. Okay. He's going to try and convince you that they're the good guys.
Okay. All right.
Difficulty 4, target roll of 12.
Does this count as a social interaction?
Yes, this is a social interaction.
Okay. It's actually one harder. I'm looking through just to see if there's anything that can help me. It's like a tank. No.
It's like a tank. Good for social interactions.
Yeah. I do have something. Instead of trying to... I have to resist this immediately, right?
Yes, you have to try and resist this immediately.
Okay, never mind then.
Okay.
If perchance, I have something that might help otherwise.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take... we haven't had a rest. I'll take a level of effort.
I say, remember, you can take one action to do a recovery roll, your first one.
I can't.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait, how long was I sitting there in the clearing?
Spend an XP to retroactively get a recovery.
Yeah, if you spend 1 XP for a player intrusion long enough for you to get a rest.
Okay, I'll spend 1 XP.
There you go. That's what they're for.
All right. So we'll go ahead. We'll say we're back up to score. Okay. Yeah, I'll take a level of effort. I don't have a lot of intelligence pool, so bring it back down to a level 4.
Okay. Target roll of 12.
I got a 12!
Nice. You succeed on the 12. Probably the fact that they tackled you and blindfolded you makes it harder for them to charm you too. But he's like, "Yeah, dude, we're trying to help you. We're trying to get you out of there."
Well, why am I still tied up?
You're not actually tied up. We're just holding you down because we didn't know if the hat thing was gonna, there's a hat nearby, and I didn't want you to be set off by the hat.
Well, I'm blindfolded, aren't I?
Yes, right now. We had to put the blindfold on you. That's what we pinned you for. Yeah.
So I could stand up.
Oh. Yeah, I guess you could stand up now. Sure. Boys, let him up. And you feel the weight of 2 other creatures kind of step back and off of you.
All right.
And Frode sits down.
So, you came to Frode. Now, you seem to have some opinion that these people I've been working with are nefarious. How so? How can I trust you?
Well, we protected you from a hat just a few seconds ago, so that's gotta count for something, right? That's good.
That's very true.
Yeah. we got a cute fox.
Yes, he was in fact very cute.
Davroid, you and Jasper walking through the woods as quietly as you can begin to hear Frode's voice and the voice of someone else talking to him. The conversation sounds calm and not like Frode is, in combat or anything. What are you doing?
Davroid will just saunter or walk up to the situation, but he's not brandishing a weapon or being hostile in any way.
So he's just strolling right into the clearing there?
Yeah.
Okay, Frode, you hear footsteps. As soon as you hear the footsteps, you hear a flurry of motion in front of you. Davroid, you enter the clearing just in time to see a glimpse of blue cloak as the creatures, you don't see how many, leap away into the trees. There's kind of a glow of cipher magic, and all of them vertical, 20 feet, 25 feet, boom, away into the sequoias.
Now, perhaps we could make a deal.
Frode, why are you blindfolded, Frode?
Frode, they're gone.
Jasper walks into the
Oh,
clearing.
Jasper. Well, these fine folk, I believe. Real quick, would I know that they tried to charm me?
Yeah, you saw through it.
Well, these fine folk were just trying to charm me into conversation, so I thought I would
Which fine
give them a
He
benefit
looks
of the
over
doubt.
at Davroid.
There's no one here, right?
There was a blue cloaked figure with some other, I presume, goons for now.
No,
That's the
no
technical
hats.
term.
No, the goons are good guys now. The private security goons, they really turn their act around after the darkening.
not private security goons, just
Oh.
goons, just generic goons.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the popular guild, private security goons. Now very philanthropic.
Well, if I don't need the blindfold anymore, I'll take that off.
Did I see a hat before they left?
No, there
away?
was no hat.
Oh, I didn't see a hat, Frode.
Well, they told me there was a hat, and who am I to believe they were going to lie to me? And I winked to Davroid. Wink.
Do you actually say wink?
Yes.
We cut back from here to Willard and Armis. You have your spirit animal cipher. Are you just rushing back?
I think so.
Yeah,
If
that
I
was the
used
goal.
If I used it, would it be... How long does it last? Is it just until it dies, or is there a time limit?
Yeah,
on
it has a level, right? Whatever your level is.
level 3.
Okay, so it lasts for 3 minutes.
Okay, never mind then. I was... yeah, we're just rushing back.
Great.
Yep.
God, I hate running, Willard. I prefer to dig, but we need to find exactly where they are, and there's so many tree
You come
roots.
crashing through the trees just as Davroid, Frode, and Jasper are walking back towards the cabin.
Oh, hello.
Hey, so what was that glowing thing, guys?
That was a distraction.
Oh,
It was a bug.
It was a bug?
Just a little,
got glowing
little
bugs now?
grasshopper. Yeah,
Well, that's
it's-
weird.
That's,
I have some interesting info for us.
what happened?
What you...
So I was following Frode's tracks, and I ended up stumbling into a conversation between him, a blue-cloaked figure, and some generic goons. But the second they heard me approaching, they leapt away. Like a cipher, jumped 25 feet in the air, and they're gone.
That sounds familiar. It sounds like the blue-cloaked fella that, what's his mole, spoke about, and that we saw trailing us, and... Frode, what was that conversation? What were they trying to say?
Oh, I gonna ask me now. Okay, we walked all the way up here. They didn't bother asking, so I was like, I guess nobody cared. No. Well, you see, I was meditating. You didn't happen to find a clearing, right? You didn't see anything, right?
No.
All right, good, because that's private.
To be clear, Davroid, you walked right through the clearing.
I know.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I know.
That's private, all right? I don't want anybody in that clearing. Now, anyway, yeah, I was going through and I was meditating, and the little fox joined up with me, and I was like, "Oh, he's a little fox," and he started handing me things, and I was like, "Oh, do you want me to play a game?" And he was like, your hands are full. I took a third thing, goodbye. And I was like, oh, I see, we're playing tag. And so I went to go play tag with the fox spirit. And then as I was running through the woods, I got jumped by 3 guys and pinned to the ground. And they blindfolded me and gagged me. And then they tried to act like they were a bunch of upstanding folks. They tried to charm me, I believe, even. Yeah, you can't charm old Frode. Frode's uncharmable. Anyway, they didn't know that. But I gave him benefit of the doubt, and I was just about to ask him some questions. And then, just as quick as they came, they seemed to have left just as quick. Because next thing I heard was Davroid, and and Jasper behind me. So, it is what it is, I guess.
That's a great attitude to have, Frode. I'm glad you made it through that all right. What do we do about this, guys? I honestly didn't think he'd be coming back so soon. I thought we'd be okay. I thought that Jasper might have been a little too cautious, thinking that Frode would be fine on his own.
I had a few questions for Jasper.
Yeah. Okay. Well, ask your questions first, but then I have some plot things to say.
Oh. Well, actually, I was wondering if you could convince the folks building our house to install a skylight.
A skylight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, then that resolves everything. All right.
Glad that we can resolve all of the trepidation that sent you out into the woods where you were attacked by a strange creature and then a wild magic incident occurred, courtesy of the chat, by installing a skylight. This is good, Frode. We're learning a lot
Yes.
about our dynamic together. So,
I'm glad you come to the realization.
I think given these recent events, the best thing we can do for you all is get you out of town for a little bit, which is perfect because we have some more remote incidents of magic that you could be going and cleaning up right now. Sarah back at the cabin, she's got a couple different dossiers there. So what I'd love for you guys to do is take a look at those, choose one, and then we'll get some shut-eye tonight. I'll have the Gold Wardens kind of stationed throughout the mountains to make sure we're safe. And then tomorrow morning, we'll send you off on the transporter with Mickey to go and investigate. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
All right.
Beautiful.
Perfect. We gotta keep the good news rolling so I can keep getting us cool resources from the Queen. And you head back into the cabin, and after kind of being handed, she doesn't say anything to you. She's neck deep in other reports, but she just kind of slides across the, not looking, just slides 2 manila folders towards you. You have 2 options here. There is reports from a convoy of merchants who are unable to go through the only pass in a mountain range because there's some kind of strange magical disturbance and they're afraid to move through without having it quelled, but they're carrying important goods that they're we have to go the direct way and this is the direct way, we need help. And then your other option is there are reports of that all of the fishermen in Hembleyhoo are vanishing one at a time. They're just going down like flies, and specifically the fishermen. And we don't know that magic is involved, but it's so weird that it wound up, through flying through all the different desks of information and wound up here on your desk. So those are the 2 things. We've got a stalled convoy at a dangerous mountain pass, and we've got all of the fishermen seem to be vanishing from a town called Hembleyhoo.
Oh, dear.
And
Do we know
Hembleyhoo
what's-
also has the storm cloud, right?
Yes, there is a storm cloud in fixed position near or over top of Hembleyhoo. It's hard to tell from this far away. It's miles away.
This is a hard choice. I am thinking hard about this one.
It's true. Do we know what's in the convoy? Can they wait? People disappearing seems pressing, but if there's bombs or something that they're going, I don't really want them not being.
Oh yeah,
taken
yes.
care of.
What's in this convoy? That's so
Do they
important.
say?
They're carrying the end of summer harvest to a village that is in kind of a remote area of the central mountains where they can't grow any crops or anything. So it's the food supplies for this village for the fall, all of autumn.
Okay.
They could survive a few days, right?
Yeah, they're probably used to being hungry.
Yeah.
It's another day or 2 delay. We'll get to it.
They're not disappearing.
That's true. Man, this is a really hard discussion, everybody.
I think if it's all right, I would love to vote for going to the disappearing fishermen. And I've also been very perplexed. I stared a long time at that cloud around that area, and I just can't get it off my mind.
The cloud
like
is
to go over
very
there.
suspicious. Yes, I won't. I'll say that I'm not necessarily excited to seek out these magical, scary things. But if we must, then we should do it. We should do it. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
Beautiful.
We'll
You
do the
gotta
fisherman.
twist my arm. I know it's really tough decision, guys. Don't make it so quick. But if you're gonna twist my arm, and if we have to go to Hembleyhoo, then I guess I've got no choice.
Frode, do you have some ulterior motive for wanting to go to Hembleyhoo? I didn't think you did, but the way you're talking about it now, it seems like you're trying. really poorly to hide something from me.
You would accuse me of...
He was just telling you earlier about how it's important to be literal. He wouldn't be hiding anything from you, Jasper.
Yes, exactly. And I look at Armis, wink.
Okay, well, good for you. And Armis, with your past in the diplomatic world, you recognize the face of someone who's decided that it would be a diplomatic problem to pursue this weird, even though whatever it is clearly is like kind of needling them a little bit. It's like, but I'm not going to upset the peace right now. It's like, good for you. All right, well, get some shut-eye. You should have beds by now. And you look over and the craftspeople have installed an addition onto the side of the cabin in the 10 minutes you've been away. And in the addition, there are 4 beds. And they've even dug another hole for Willard in case he would prefer to be in a hole. So there's 4 beds and a hole.
Thank you.
In this kind of offshoot room. And that's what's there.
Who are these other 2? Sorry, I left because I wasn't paying attention to whatever you were saying. I was more worried about the fact that you were going to kill us all with the energy stopping you were doing. But we got somebody behind a desk over here. Who's that?
Everyone is
Sarah.
introduced and explained, and all the details make sense. And suddenly, it's the next morning. You all awaken, ready to face the new day. I wanna zoom in here on Armis as you're preparing to like leave and go out on this next sort of mission, this adventure for these fishermen. Like, take us just into Armis's mind. What's he thinking? What's he feeling? And like, how does that, his kind of preparations for the day?
Armis gets up. He tries to hit up Willard for a nice cup of tea that he can spike with a little bit of some whiskey or something.
Yes, here it is.
He goes outside. Before he goes outside, he tries to pass Sarah a cup of tea and tells her, "You really need to get some sleep. You seem like you've been working a lot lately. Just take care of yourself, please."
Oh, sorry. Did you say something?
Okay. It's fine. You do what you gotta do. Then he goes outside. He puffs a big old cigarette on his little rock that he climbs up to. He stares off at the cloud. And he's wondering if what he's doing is making any difference. He's still, even though he didn't really feel like he talked about it very clearly with Frode, he's still a little messed up about going to see his ex-family's house when he was in the city. And he just hopes that he can make something good happen at this next place and keep plugging away and keep them safe.
Awesome. So you regroup with everybody as they kind of finish their morning preparations. You're now standing outside, and Mickey, your transporter, walks over to the kind of the lay rate platform that he's got there, and he lowers the staff. It clicks into place, and with a the whole thing begins kind of floating above the ground, and these kind of... Have you ever seen like heat waves coming off of like pavement or a desert? It's kind of like that, but in pulses of just little like magical distortions through the air, kind of just whoom, 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 underneath it as it sort of siphons energy out of the currents of magic that kind of weave through the ground of the material world of Urda. And he says, "All right, hop on."
Hey, Willard, it's your favorite. It goes places.
If it gets us to where we need to go.
I can hold you so you're separated from it physically, if it's something to do with physically touching it.
Not quite, but that might be nice. I'll
Sure.
give it a go.
I'm on old Frode.
All right.
And Willard will climb up on Frode's shoulder.
Okay.
Choo choo! All right, on the board.
Okay.
What was the sound you made, Frode?
Oh, I like to think that this thing makes little whistling noises, and so I'm trying to mimic it. Because look at it, it's going whoop whoop. So obviously, once it starts moving faster, the whoop whoop's gonna go to a higher frequency. It's gonna turn into a
Oh no, it's actually really quiet. There's gonna be some wind, so you'll hear some wind, kind of like, but it like the machine is really quiet.
Oh, now you've just gone and ruined it. Thank you, Mickey. Thank you for everything.
We can say choo-choo when we take off, Frode.
Thank you, Armis.
I'm here for you, brother.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. It's fine.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, hey, hop on. And everyone hops on the platform, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wind rushing through your hair.
Choo-choo!
It's actually kind of fun for those of you who are not afraid of all artifice and magic. As this thing zooms down the side of the mountain, picture, sledding down the perfect bank where it's just the right amount of snow and ice that you're not like out of control left and right, but you have so much speed as you just down the side of the mountain. It skims over the top of the trees, and then as soon as the forest ends, it just kind of gently careens over the edge and like softly kind of lands at a new altitude and zooms across the ground. You cross plains filled with like mountain prairie grasses rustling in the wind. You leave behind this wake of these massive kind of distortion waves, and it kind of ripples outwards like when a boat cuts through water. You zoom across. Eventually you come to a river, and he goes, "Hold on!" And the thing jumps the river, and just leaps up in the air. There's this brief moment where you're like suspended in the air. Willard, you like lift just a little bit off of Frode's shoulders, and then as it comes back down, he like pulls you back down onto his shoulders. You zoom, continuing along. As you get closer to Hembleyhoo, that same storm cloud that's floating over it, you begin to see that it is in fact centered over the city of Hembleyhoo. You approach the city. City is too strong of a word. Oversized town. Hembleyhoo is an adventuring town. It's at the in the foothills of a very minor mountain range that has been sort of all used up as far as its real natural resources. Mines and quarries and all those sorts of things over time have gone through and been used. But what's been left behind are a bunch of really easy, like, practice dungeons where there's leftover tools and cool artifacts and monsters have moved in. And so the town of Hembleyhoo is essentially an adventuring guild's playground. Any aspiring adventurer or dungeon delver goes to Hembleyhoo and begins trying to like make it big. They want to be the one to find that unfound room, or to come across that cool artifact that everyone else has missed, or take out the newest monsters that have moved in. And it's kind of a self-renewing resource, because when you clear out a dungeon and then leave the dungeon there, new monsters eventually move in. So the town of Hembleyhoo thrives on adventuring. It is what you might imagine a frat town looked like if instead of like drugs and branded t-shirts, they were walking around with like really entry-level, like bright glowing swords and like ornate armor that's clearly like you bought it at the beach gift shop instead of I don't know why you buy your armor there, but that's what the beach gift shop armor. It's like, bright color. It's like for show. It's like bright colors is supposed to make you feel good about wearing it. It's probably not going to protect you that much. Everybody's got cool names, like the Black Flag Guild and whatever. It's just like very bro town. And there are a couple of different like taverns. There's a big library full of like resources. There's a huge sort of what am I trying to say? A huge religious district where all the different faiths have a bunch of like medics and priests and things who are there to like put together all these crazy adventures when they get themselves nearly killed in the mountains. And yeah, chat says Salt Life's armor class. That was Jake. Get out of here, Jake.
I can make jokes in the chat.
Yeah.
Is that not allowed?
Whatever. So you see a couple of people walking around in like chainmail bikinis, and like it's just very, very, very bro, very laid back. Very if Portland, Oregon were an adventuring town, you would have Hembleyhoo. And so you walk in, it's a little bit dark, right? There's the shadow overhead of the clouds, but there's still kind of a nice bustle of people wandering around. Spirits are high. As you're walking into Hembleyhoo, someone leans out of the front window of a restaurant that has like a little, open face to the street, and they're just handing out free little samplers of drinks. So Armis, you like grab a little cocktail, and you're strolling through the town, cobblestone streets, smiling people. You don't see anything to fish. There's no lake here. You don't see any fishermen, obviously. They all seem to have gone missing. But you're just kind of wandering around. You're here in town. What are we going to do?
This is great energy for a town.
This is not what I expected at all when that little guy just described that he got grass here.
I know, right? This is
insane.
What?
It seems spirits for the fact that they are disappearing fishermen, or is Do they eat a lot of fish? Does that not quite matter here?
Clearly not right now. They don't.
I wonder if that's not the primary industry. I feel like it might be something else.
No, maybe the fishermen bum the vibes out, and it's just way cooler now that they're gone. We should still find them. I don't know.
That's a bit counterproductive to what we're trying to do.
Let's try to find some official building around here, right? Let's look for the tallest building.
Let's go over there. Let's preferably one that's near somewhere that's serving even more of these delicious beverages. Am I right?
No, true.
We are on the clock, guys.
It's it. Yeah.
Yes.
First night here.
I would say that it's one way. It's really weird of you to call this place a clock. I mean, come on. I know theoretically the sun,
You find
casts
before
time
you
down.
a large tavern. It is 4 stories tall, tallest tavern in the city. There are a bunch of them, right? Like adventuring guilds are coming here from all over the place, or small parties that are just starting out. So there's lots of different taverns, but this is the biggest tavern. And you can see that whatever name used to be on there, it's been scratched out and just replaced with the word Lonnie's in big letters. And as you walk in, there is an ancient, this guy must be 250 years old, human. He, like, his hairline has receded so far back that there's a single line of hair that goes around the outside of his head, and it just like joins with a unibrow, so it's like a crown of hair. And he's like, he squints a little when he talks, and he has this little lisp when he talks. He's, oh, hey, welcome to Lonnie's. Can I get you a drink?
Oh, hey there, youngin'.
Hey.
Four of your strongest, whatever you got.
The unholy volcanoes. I'll get you some.
Unholy volcano. Thank you. These are all for me, by the way, guys.
Oh, thank you, Armis.
If you guys want anything, feel free to ask.
Oh, you said they're all for you. I thought you meant they were on you, which is a phrase I've heard recently.
Well, I'll get you another. Hang on.
Do you need help back there, youngin'?
Don't disrespect the man.
Oh, no, I've got them. And then he hands over really fancy whiskeys. So they come in a decanter that is the shape of a volcano. They are Fitchtail Ale Company's like hardest hitting liquor, essentially. And so he hands you these unholy volcanoes. And if you choose to drink them, I'm going to need a might roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Armis is gonna take them all in like one in each of his little hands.
Okay.
And just start sipping away.
Awesome.
And begin asking questions about the town and slowly become more and more slurred as he does it.
Great. Are you asking Lonnie or patrons? And also, I need that might roll.
I'm definitely going to do that. I'll start by asking Lonnie.
Okay. This is a might roll with a difficulty of 5. So
Right.
target roll of 15.
I would like to report that Armis drinks a fair bit, and he's used to maybe not quite this heavy. But
If you want to codify that into a mechanical benefit, you could spend 3 XP for a long-term benefit of Armis being like very used to drink. You do get 2 XP for starting on a new quest from your analyst.
3 XP.
All 3 of you, or all 4 of you.
Well,
nice.
Look at that. Yeah, why not? Yeah, 3 XP to just be a good drinker. How about that?
All right. So you resist the effects of alcohol, essentially. And you can
Okay,
even expand that to like all poisons, maybe.
Ooh.
Wow.
You have a resilient liver.
That's a great skill.
That's the name of the skill, resilient liver.
Yeah, resilient liver. You're trained in resilient liver.
Mic roll. Here we go. Oh, 18 on the die.
18
baby.
on the die.
Nice.
You are so used to this. Is doing. I mean, it tastes great, but it's not hurting you at all.
So my man Lonnie.
Yes.
We come in. We hear that you have had a bunch of fishermen go missing. What's that about?
Oh, the fishermen, yes. They used to drink here on Thursdays, but they haven't been here lately. I think they all went out to the lake, the mysterious spooky lake, and they all have disappeared since they have done that. I have a
Spooky lake.
Yeah, it is a spooky lake. This is where I send adventurers when they're trying to, oh, they're so brave and whatever. You tell them, go spooky lake. It's got mist on it all the time, and it's always raining at the spooky lake. But anyway, so the spooky lake, they go there, and I guess they don't come back. It's crazy. There's less of them every night.
Yeah, I hear you. Can I get 2 more?
Yeah, absolutely, you can. Here you go.
And he hands over 2 more unholy volcanoes to you. Willard, Davroid, Frode, what are you doing as Armis is doing this?
Taking notes.
There you go.
Armis is getting hammered and talking to the barkeep, and Davroid is next to him like, How do you spell that?
What is the name of the lake, Lonnie?
A mysterious lake. That's his name. Yeah.
He said spooky lake, I think.
He picks up a map and you see that he's something of a hobbyist cartographer. And he unrolls the map on the bar top in front of him. And he goes, right here. And you can see that Mysterious Lake has been written over top of a body of water. Right there.
This is beautiful. That's beautiful, Lonnie.
Thank you. Yeah, I did it. I did the line work. I had someone else color it in. My hands aren't as steady as they used to be.
God, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
God, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. You should see it from the top of this cliff here. It's all just rolling out in front of you. It's very nice. Yeah.
We'll take a peek.
Yeah.
Brody's gonna dip away from the conversation
Okay.
and look for anybody who looks like an herbalist.
Ooh, an herbalist. You find one. Or at least you find someone who looks like an herbalist.
That's fair.
You find a guy who's got dinner in front of him. He's seated at like one of the tables, not quite in the back corner where it's shadowy, where like bad people are, but like 2 tables away from there where just introverts are. And he's sitting at that table, and he has a band around his head with like 3 wheat grasses tucked into it. And he's got another one like over his ear and another little tiny wheatgrass that he's chewing on. You get the impression that like he chews them down and then he moves to the next wheatgrass and chews that down. But he's sitting there. He's got his his bowl of stew and his big bread roll, and he's munching away. Chat, name this guy for me.
Frode is just gonna step right into his booth and sit on the other side of the table. Oh, hello there.
Hello, stranger.
Yes. You can call me the Forsaken.
That's
but,
an ominous name. Forsaken by whom?
It's got a long tail to it, but
okay.
if you want to know, I'm willing to trade you that for some information I'm looking for that perhaps you might know.
Ooh, a trade. I'm interested.
Yes.
Harrison Fitzpatrick loves a good trade.
So, Mr. Harrison, I see you're very new at these kind of things. Let me just give you a word of advice. Never give your name right out, okay? That's terrible negotiationship right there.
Interesting. I'll take that under advisement.
And then, 2, you wouldn't happen to know anything about Feygrass, would you?
I would.
I might be willing to trade why I'm called the Forsaken if you're willing to tell me where I might find out where to get such Feygrass.
Harrison Fitzpatrick's the only man in these parts who grows fey grasses.
Ooh, so you grow Feygrass.
Indeed. I have a fey field.
You have a Fey field?
I have a fine fey field. Thanks for
Fine
asking.
Fey field indeed, okay. May I come visit this Fey field?
Oh, I don't know if I could just let you in for free.
Well, it wouldn't be for free, of course. We're trading information. Speaking of which, I've got to tell you I'm called the Forsaken. I've been known to go a little mad sometimes. And as I say that, I'm going to do something that I should have done as soon as I entered this town. And I'm just going to say it's by God's miracle I have yet to look at a hat.
Yeah.
I'm going to look... I'm not going to look passively, but I'm just going to know, is there a hat within my vision as I say that?
Jake, roll a d20. Trevor, roll a d20.
Okay.
Trevor is the over-under. Mike, decide over or under.
Under.
Okay, so Trevor, you need to roll under whatever Jake rolled.
Okay.
I rolled a 15.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, there are no hats in your immediate vicinity.
Armis is a gambler.
Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and put this on. It's just for you and me, don't worry. And I put on a blindfold.
You are a finely interesting fellow.
Yes. Now, you see, I've been cursed, and my curse makes me rage uncontrollably, and thus I have caused quite mayhem and chaos, thus the whole Forsaken part.
I see. Forsaken by your own wits.
No, I wouldn't go that far now.
How far would you go to lift that curse?
That's an interesting question.
You came to my table.
Well, it depends. I was hoping to figure out how to lift it, but I was
Well, there's
kind of
only
really
one way to lift a curse.
How's that?
Got to curse the curse. Curses hate curses. They can't share.
Why did I never think of that? Why, that's genius!
Yeah.
Harrison.
There's this other way where you can go to whoever bestowed the curse on you and you can try and get them to lift it, but that's like really hard because usually they were in the mood to curse you, so like they're not very receptive. But if you can just curse the curse, curses hate curses.
All right, I'm gonna take that, put a pin in it. I already started talking to you though, Harrison, so I really appreciate that. But may I come see your fey grass fields?
My fine fey fields?
Your fine fey fields.
I feel like that could be a good time. How
I
about
think-
tomorrow?
I think that works.
Sounds great.
And Frode steps up, gives him a small salute with his blindfold on.
He
and
tips a fey grass to Frode.
Frode makes his way back to the table to join the end of whatever conversation is happening.
Great. Willard, what have you been up to?
Willard has been, and similar to what the other two have been kind of doing, Willard has been trying to find someone in the room who looks more adjacent to the fisherman. Like working class, not one of the adventurers, maybe a shepherd, or, you know, someone who looks like they are a resident here but not a tourist.
Okay.
To intermingle with them.
Great. You find a kind of a, what am I trying to say? Like a hook-nosed sort of, he's like very skinny, very pale-skinned elf. He's seated at the back of the tavern. He looks like he's just finished his meal. He's getting ready to leave. He's got a fairly expensive-looking cane with him, like a nice, well-built, copper inlays kind of thing. He's got on a pair of nice shoes. Business, sort of like business casual plus, button-up shirt with like a nice sports coat over it, but it's not like a suit or anything, no tie.
Okay.
And he has a few fine rings on his fingers.
Where would one go if they wanted to fish in this town?
Ah, to fish. Well, mostly the only lake nearby is unfortunately the mysterious one, so you'd probably end up going off into the woods this way.
And he points out where so the village has like a wall around it of wood. And he kind of points at the wall. So you go out the east gate here, and if you head that way, you'll kind of loop around this mountain range, go through these two cliffs, and then on the other side, there's sort of a mysterious lake. We call it that because it's covered in mist that has rolled in. It's an atmospheric effect. It's not actually, it's still just a lake. It's not much of a mystery, I think. But yes, that's where I'd suggest you go fish. I'm not much of a fisherman myself, of course.
I see.
Yes.
Did you know of any other fishermen here that I could speak to about the game that could be caught here?
Interesting. I don't know everyone. I mostly spend my time in my shop, but I do know one or two fishermen. I don't see any of them here tonight. That's fascinating that you bring that up.
When did you last see them and where?
Oh, they were at my bookstore. It's on the first floor of my library. But they were, they had come in looking for some different treatises and studies on, different kinds of fish and things. And so I said, "Oh, are you a fisherman?" Because sometimes stating the obvious is a good way to start a conversation when you're incredibly socially awkward, which some days I am. And it worked. It worked, and we talked a little bit, and it seemed nice. John and Filigree were fine enough fellows, but they came, they bought some books, and they left, and I haven't seen them since. That was 2 days ago now.
2 days ago, okay.
Yes.
That's good to know.
They did mention that they were ready to head out to the lake. They said they were going to go together because of something that happened to someone. They said, someone went by themselves and had a bad time, so they were going to travel together. I guess, safety. Who knows what all these other young adventurers are stirring up in the cliffs and the mountains and things. It's hard to get just a peaceful moment around this city.
It seems that way.
Yes.
It seems that way. Who does keep the peace in this city? Is there law enforcement agency based here?
Oh no, the town, the mayor has a small sort of volunteer guard who man the walls and make sure that, the doors get closed in the evenings, and, allow escaping adventurers back inside and things. But no, we're a town of mostly adventuring folk, and so we just have kind of a code of honor of, don't steal from each other, treat everybody well, sort of a deal, and it mostly works out for us. Yes.
And you don't necessarily seem the adventuring type. Might I ask what brought you here?
Oh, yes. There are some fascinating things in the mountains to learn about, and with all these people going out to adventure, they can come back and tell me about them, and I can add them to my library of resources here. I have a large collection of books, tapestries, parchments, of all sorts of things. I collect, just all sorts of information, really. It's one of the most complete libraries in the nation. In fact, they're basing the number system in other libraries off of it now. I don't know if you've heard of the Eos Lore Foundation. They're a pretty big deal out there in the West. Alden, the guy in charge of it, I taught him how to file books.
Oh, quite interesting.
And as Willard says that, he's kind of looking around the bar for is there anyone else I can talk to?
Is there any way out? Yeah, so I was thinking to myself that, imagine if instead of just putting the books up there in the order I received them, imagine if we had some sort of categorization
I'm sure it's
system
quite
based
convenient.
on the author and the subject.
That's great. I'm going to go find a fisherman. Thank you for everything.
We cut back to Armis and Davroid, who are still with Lonnie.
Yes, so I have on this map here, this is the location of it, and it should be very easy to get to, so I'm not sure why. There should be a fisherman or two here tonight who can take you, but none of them seem to be about.
When did they start disappearing?
Oh, you don't think anything happened to them, do you?
They're great. They're doing
too
great.
soon to tell.
Well, I suppose there's been fewer and fewer of them since that cloud came into position over the village here. It's been strange. We've been waiting for it to rain, but it never rains.
Is it that cloud? What's going on with the cloud,
Nobody
Lonnie?
knows. It's just up there being a cloud. And
When did it show up?
Oh, I don't know, a few months ago now.
Is anyone going up to the cloud and
in the air to the cloud?
Someone maybe
These
there's a bird
are beginner
around.
adventurers here, mister. You need to adjust your expectations.
Sometimes some young fellas come along and they do great things, Lonnie. You gotta
understand. Think like before they're young fellas with high potential. That's what mostly this town is. They're either young fellas or they have great potential here.
All right, Lonnie.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say this. I love you. I think you're the best guy here.
This is really sweet, and I appreciate the sentiment. I'm actually married, so
It's a brotherly love, Lonnie. I just wanted to thank you for your time. I think.
Oh, Armis, you need to stop floating with the old youngin' now.
Frode, come on.
Anyway, I mean, come on. We're gonna sort this out in like a day, right? And then we can spend the next day gotta just.
So that'll be 75 gold pieces for the unholy volcanoes.
Lonnie, we've gotten along so well. You know me, I know you. You gotta be a little wiggle room in there, Lonnie.
It's just what they cost, son.
Yeah, that's fair. How much money do I have?
You have that much. It's just most of what you have. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Lonnie, these were the best drinks of my life.
I'm happy to have provided you with such excellent service.
I'm gonna come back with every fisherman, and I'm gonna make sure they all buy an unholy volcano.
Well, thank you very kindly.
He takes the pile of gold and immediately fumbles it. It all falls everywhere.
That's
dear,
why I love you.
I'll get it.
That's why I love you, Lonnie. Davroid, do you got any other questions for the man before I go throw up outside?
No, I think we're good.
All right.
Don't you agree, Davroid? We'll get this sorted out in, say, I don't know, a couple hours, chillax, spend the night.
I can't say that, but we will do our best.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's just grab the crew and we'll head over there, solve this lickety-split.
I think that sounds great.
Well, maybe give Armis like a little bit of recovery.
But I'm good to go, guys. Just one quick refresher on everything out of my system in a second, and it'll be good. Where do you guys think we should go?
To the lake.
We could just go up to the lake, or I don't know, there's not really much a way to get to the cloud. I was thinking about maybe summoning a bird for 3 minutes and flying up to it. It was either that or get a fish and try and ride on the lake, but my judgment's...
Let's just go to the lake. We'll find out what happens. We'll solve it.
Let's go to the lake!
Yeah.
I think we should go to the lake.
Lake time, baby!
Before I leave, I grab like, hey, Linus, do you have like a 6-pack or something to go?
Who's that?
Lonnie, that's Lonnie.
Oh, Lonnie? Oh, sorry. I was just so confused with all you young folk
You've
running
been having
around.
too much unholy volcano, son.
I wouldn't call me son now. I'm a few hundred older than you, all right? I'll have you know.
I see that you believe what you were saying.
Fair enough. Can you give us a 6-pack to go? We're going to the lake. We're gonna, crack open a few cold ones.
At the spooky lake? I don't know if that's a good idea. It seems dangerous.
Oh,
Well,
solve the
okay,
problem.
that'll be
It'll be
some
fine.
money.
And he
right.
holds a pack of
Well,
unholy volcano.
here's some money.
Thank you.
And he hands you the 6-pack of unholy volcano.
Oh, whoa, these are a fancy 6-pack. I wasn't expecting this. All right, whatever.
You asked for
You got
it.
good. Can Lonnie come along, guys? I don't know.
You want to put him in that kind
I
of
haven't
danger?
moved from behind this counter in 100 years. I've been here for 3 campaigns now.
I respect the hustle, Lonnie.
You head out. Are you doing anything before you go to the mysterious lake?
As a Willard will catch the team up on what he heard as well from Dewey.
I think what's most interesting is it doesn't seem like the people who live here have really noticed that they're gone. Like they've heard that, one of the fishermen apparently disappeared and the other 2 were concerned about it and they wanted to go to the lake the next time together. But,
What?
yes, I don't know.
You know what that means? It means it's going to be, if they haven't even heard about it, it's probably not a big problem. If it's not a big problem, we'll solve that legally split.
I'm going to hit Armis with a GM intrusion. Armis, as you are retching in a back alley or something before you head back out, you kind of, everything gets out of your system and you're just kind of taking a couple of deep breaths before you go back to face the day. And you glance up just in time to see a well-dressed diplomat with his family walk past at the end of the alley. And, he's holding hands with his partner and his little girl's riding on his shoulders and they just seem happy together and they walk beyond and they keep going. And you just catch that glimpse of that. And then you have to turn away from that to walk back and rejoin the party and keep moving.
I'll definitely do that.
Yep. Take an XP.
Oh, no, not today. What's most interesting is it doesn't seem like, even though it's called the Mysterious Lake, at least from what I heard from this gentleman, this librarian or something, he said it's likely some sort of weather thing and not necessarily evil magic, but the danger seems to have only started recently. Like the scary stories about it they're recent, not old.
Hey, Josh.
You speak of the lake?
Yes, we do. Who's this?
Who goes?
The lake? You can't go to the lake. You can't
Why
go.
not?
A face kind of peers out of curtains of a small shack, decrepit, rundown. The person inside is dusty, old, like kind of rags for clothing.
You can't go to the lake. Not safe the lake. My Tobias went to the lake to fish, to feed the family. Tobias never came back.
How long has Tobias been going to the lake?
Tobias fished all his life. He great fisherman. He would never make mistake, but he not come back. We send people to look for him, adventurers. They find no trace. Not even a tackle box. We've invented those here.
Did the adventurers come back?
Box of tackle.
Yes, they went to look for him, did not find him. They came back, gave bad news. You must not go to lake. I tried to warn people. They keep going to fish. Like trout is such a big deal, and then they don't come back.
So
It's
the
not safe.
fishermen,
The lake.
the
The lake is
fishermen.
cursed.
Cursed?
Cursed lake.
Oh no!
This sounds like a great
Lake is
idea, guys.
cursed.
Is the lake? Your son? He'd been fishing this lake for a long time, but only
Yes.
recently did he go missing.
Yes.
And only fishermen have been going missing, not the adventurers.
No, the fishermen, they go missing.
Interesting.
All right.
I think we do need to go there, guys.
Do you have a
I
spare
agree.
tackle box we can borrow?
Oh, the bars took the tackle box to the lake.
Ah, that's fine.
And it's gone.
We'll figure it out. We'll find what happened to your device.
He didn't have a spare fishing pole, for example?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, we'll hit up the general supply store. We'll be fine. We'll get a couple fishing rods. I got a 6-pack right here.
She bursts through the window, one decrepit hand latching onto Armis.
You must not go. So many souls lost. So many souls.
She scares me so bad I vomit on myself a little bit more.
Oh, hands
Man,
off Armis.
You.
I'm so
She
sorry,
climbs
ma'am.
back into the house.
You must not go.
I plop myself on her window and just look at her with bloodshot eyes and just foul smelling breath. Ma'am, I promise you, we're gonna get your little boy back. You can count on us. This gets a little bit mess and just spreads it and gets a little bit more on his shirt. Guys, we gotta go.
All right, you heard Armis.
Davroid will start walking towards the lake.
Let's do what Frode
Whoa,
said.
whoa.
Get the fishing pole first, and then let's do that. Yes.
Yes.
We can make a fishing pole. I pick up a stick and just gunk on it.
So we stopped by the
Line.
general goods store.
For chat that when you say gunk on it, what you mean is spider web. Your half spider, half humanoid body.
I gunk out of my belly button. I put the stick on my belly button, swirl it around like a cotton candy machine, and just pull out a thread and put like a little cigarette on the end for bait.
Well,
We're ready to go.
We get a tackle box, couple of rods.
and you head off to the lake. The journey's not super long. It's also not super treacherous. You pass a number of adventuring companies in varying degrees of readiness. You know, some of them are like, clearly it's their first adventure out of the town, and they're every corner, you know, they peek around the corner and then they send the rogue to look for traps. And then other groups you go by are like just talking casually and like, this isn't a dangerous part. Every now and then you find a group that's like, they're just kind of in like a personal challenge. Like, hey, how can you climb that wall without falling? And, you know, stuff like that. Like, it's just a big old sort of adventuring conglomerate here. And as you pass by them and you come to the turn that leads to the mysterious lake, suddenly there's nobody else on the path. And it's just you all. Cleo has a hand up. Yes, Cleo.
Did we pass a cat along the way?
You can roll a player intrusion to pass a cat. Or you can not roll, but you can spend an XP for a player intrusion to pass a cat.
Sure, I will spend a player extrusion.
Okay. Extrusion.
Intrusion.
A player
Yeah.
extrusion.
Player
We stretch Trevor into a cat.
Yeah.
You come across a cat. Meow. It's a calico.
Oh, yeah, what? All right. Now you're not part of my normal network, but here I'll freelance with you. And I dig into the tackle box and I pull out a couple bits of like fish bait, right, made out of like, you know, chum, little bits of fish, right. And I'm like, here you go. All right, now I'm gonna pay you a bit more than I normally do. That's only because you're freelance. And he's gonna pull out a little napkin he took from the bar, and he's gonna scribble onto it, "Gone fishing at lake. Should be back tonight. If not, there's a problem." And he folds it up He's like, all right. He holds up the note. I need this to reach Mikey. He's the one with the weird moving giant platform that just came into town. And for the price, I will give you this chub. How does that sound?
What did I roll last time?
We left it up to chance. It was a 50-50. You rolled, and I had someone pick odds or evens.
Okay.
Because you previously stated that he had about a 50-50 success rate.
That's
for
right.
it.
Yeah, let's go with it.
Okay. Trevor, odds or evens?
Evens.
Oh, chat says odds. We're going to do odds. Cleo,
Okay.
roll.
All right. A D20, D6, what did we roll?
It doesn't matter. All
Whatever
of
you
them
want.
have even and odd numbers on them.
That's true. All right. So I'm looking for odds, right?
You're looking for odds.
I got 19!
That's an
Nice.
odd number. The cat eats up the little snack and takes the message in its mouth and it runs off.
That's my little one.
I go up to Frode and I say, they told us not to say it, but the last one worked really good. They didn't want me to tell you, but the cat thing works so good, Frode. It's really good.
I tried to tell you before.
It's so good.
It's
I'm gonna
part
start
of the
doing
deal,
it.
I assure you.
I think I'm gonna start doing it too, Frode.
Oh, well, you gotta be very careful about it, but I believe in you.
Thank you so much.
All right, and then we continue on our way.
Really quick.
Yeah?
There's an out of game thing I want to tell everyone about.
Oh,
Okay.
So I have a passive ability called Inspiring Ease.
oh yeah,
Um,
hell yeah.
So if I've spent 24 hours in a group, everyone in the group once per day can ease any task.
Oh.
That's
So as
very
long
good.
as
I
I'm
thought
in the
about taking
group,
that.
you have that ability just every day.
Do you have to
That's
spend
awesome.
any points or anything for that, or do you just get it?
It's just passive.
That's awesome. You're making everyone's life easier.
I believe
easier.
it resets if he's gone for long enough, but
Yeah.
it's
The flavor is through story, songs, art, or other forms of entertainment, you inspire your friends. After spending 24 hours with you, once per day, each of your friends can ease a task.
I'm going to offer
Nice.
a flavor modification that instead it's because Davroid is so diligent at his detective work. And when they
Yes.
use this, they need to find a way to rope Davroid into the scene. Like talk about what resource you provide that is making the
That's
task
fun.
easier for them.
Yep,
Cool.
I'm good with that.
Beautiful.
I like it.
I like it. Great. So that has happened, and you are walking, and now you kind of step out of the cliffs, so the wind begins blowing again, no longer blocked by the rocky passes, and you find yourself standing in front of the spooky lake. Roiling mist creates a visibility of about 15, 20 feet. You can only see a short distance away, and you can see the bank of the lake closest to you. So, maybe 15, 20 feet to there, but you can't see to the end. You can't see to the sides. So you don't know how far or how big the lake is. Based on Lonnie's map, it's pretty sizable. But you can see there are some kind of like sand beaches, like soft white sand around the outside. And then further back, the ground is kind of dirt, and that's what's there. Directly above you is the center of that big poofy cloud up there. And it looks bigger because you're closer to it, but Armis, you're a sharp-eyed guy, and you're pretty sure that it looks also bigger than it was in the past when you've observed it. Like the cloud seems to be growing in density.
Just like my sadness, the cloud grows bigger.
What was that?
That's the first line of my
Okay,
emo song.
Armis?
The cloud's not doing good, guys. It's becoming even more ominous.
All right.
Well, I think in order to... I think Frode and I were sort of on the same page, but I think one of us should fish while the others of us stay on our guard to try and stop whatever it is that takes us away.
Yeah, I've got this part handled, right? I'm the big. I can take a few hits. No matter what comes our way, and if we get cursed, I could take a curse. It could happen. It could get cursed. Who knows?
Are you saying you want to be cursed again, Frode?
What? No. Listen, I I heard somebody mention that idea, and I just want to know if it's true. You know, I'm doing what people like to call an experimente. So let me do the fishing, and you all hold back and enjoy the 6-pack.
Well, I would like to ask, do you have experience in fishing? Do you know how to fish?
Well, I noticed that these hooks, they have little sharp barbs at the end, which can't be right. That would hurt the fish. So I went ahead and bent a few of them off already.
Frode,
Yes?
How about this? You sit next to me, and we will make it look like you are the one fishing. But I will be next to you, and I'm so small that if any creature is trying to attack us, they won't know I'm the one fishing. I'll maybe even just sit in your lap, and I'll fish. And because I don't know about you, but I've done some fishing before. So I'll fish, and you are there to look scary. And if you get cursed, then you get cursed, and if you get attacked, you get attacked, and I'll be there, and we'll all be there too. To take care of whatever happens.
I may have already bent all the hooks.
All of them?
Can Willard spend an XP to have bought some of his own fishing tackle?
Sure.
Also, and if I need to spend more XP, and because if it helps the situation, Willard thinks or assumes that because only the fishermen have gotten caught, maybe whatever, or have gone missing, maybe whatever it is reliant on like actually catching a fish. And if I must, I would like to spend some XP to retcon a little bit that Willard has when he was sheriff of Tumbleweb, one of his main hobbies in his downtime, besides making tea, of course, was fishing in the underground lakes, and he loved that. Yeah. It's one of his favorite pastimes.
Lakes. There's a great lake underneath of Tumbleweb. It's got this weird island in the middle of it.
It's very big.
It's got a throne of bones on it. Yeah, that's a great lake for fishing. Yeah, that's great. You can absolutely do that. That would be 3 XP for a long-term skill. You would become trained in it. Alternatively, you could spend 2 XP for a medium-term benefit that would it would only last for this scene, and it would be like maybe this specific kind of fishing rod is something that you know how to use. You know, I guess the one with the lint silk on it, or whatever.
I'll spend 3 XP for the trained in fishing, and then 1 XP to have bought some of his own tackle in secret at the general store.
Perfect.
So Willard will kind of look like kind of squint at the. Sorry, Armis, go ahead.
No, I'm spitballing before we go out there. Are we at all worried that the cloud is a sentient creature that's growing bigger because it's eating more and more fishermen?
Well, we'll see.
I guess we'll see if you get eaten by a big cloud.
Yeah.
Willard understands.
Maybe I've had a few too many. I'm just a little concerned.
Maybe none of the 6-pack for you, Armis.
Frode, I'm good.
All right,
great.
you get 1.
God bless you. He cries a little bit.
All right, I need to stop. This spot looks good. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, could I do like an intellect/arcana roll to gather any information about the cloud, how it looks, if it's something I've come across before?
Yeah, you can do that. I'm not going to tell you how difficult it is, though. Whatever phenomena is causing this cloud is not your like everyday arcane behavior.
Don't you have a tool for analyzing?
Oh!
Do we get an immediate?
It's floating over top of his head. Unless he tells it to go somewhere else. There's just this black disc, this obelisk kind of floating over your head.
I think this would be this will be a good time for that. I would like to use the once a day trait.
Awesome. The obelisk begins glowing and it cycles down in front of you so that you're almost, you know those things where you like put in a quarter and you look at the view of the skyline? It kind of sits in front of you like that so that Sarah can see what you see. and hear what you hear, and so on and so forth. And you hear kind of emanating from it, like just a little bit of like stereo separation doubling, kind of lower quality connection. You hear, "Hello, this is Sarah. What are we looking at here? Ooh, Cloud Lake. What's
is
the
it
question?
happening? Are they going to abduct us? What's going on?
We're interested to learn more about this ominous cloud, which has something to do with disappearing fishermen.
Ominous cloud and disappearing fishermen. An interesting set of data points to link. Let's see what we can learn about the cloud here. And as you're looking through it, you can see that she must be manipulating some kind of arcane controls out there in the world, because the view kind of zooms in and enhances on the cloud. She goes, "What's interesting about this cloud is that typically clouds are formed by moisture that's being gathered together, condensing before it becomes heavy enough that it falls. But this cloud, you'll note that every molecule is exactly the same size." And it zooms in and you can see like the pattern of molecules for a second, and then it zooms back out. She goes, "It's almost as if it's not moving at all. It doesn't seem affected by gravity. Something about this cloud is ethereal. Maybe a crossover from the ethereal plane, or maybe some kind of portal or something. Very interesting. Some kind of strange... Doesn't look like there's any electrical continuity between it, which we would expect to see lightning in a cloud of this size and casting this much shade. It does seem to refract light properly, so it is in the corporeal world. Yeah, my best guess is that you're looking at something from the ethereal plane, either something that's spilling out of the ethereal plane or perhaps a marker, something left behind as like a, here's where the thing is, some kind of sign. This could have been created or designed. It does look awfully like a cloud, so it would have to be someone who has a decent knowledge of atmospheric behavior, some kind of creature or something. I would say that we're looking at not an arcane phenomena, but instead an arcane working, perhaps an illusion or an incorporeal ethereal cloud here. This is some evidence of the ethereal plane.
It's a ghost cloud.
What does the weird stone tell you? Armis, yeah, what are you saying?
Ask Davroid first. I'm just kind of screaming stuff.
So, first off, this connected me straight to headquarters where Sarah is, and she was the one who was informing me based on what...
Ask her, did they install the skylight yet?
It's too late.
Click.
It appears to be either from the ethereal plane, a portal to the ethereal plane, or some sort of like...
A portal?
Could be. We don't know. Not for certain. But some sort of evidence of the ethereal plane, at least.
Willard, fish harder, Willard.
I didn't even cast yet. I thought we were waiting.
Is it worth trying to send like a spirit bird up there, or do we just want to go for the fishing?
No, I mean, if you have the bird, I didn't know you did falconry.
I got.
It's
Well,
quite
do you remember?
interesting.
You remember the bug that was a pain in the butt?
Yeah.
I can make a thing. I can
Make a
some
bug
sort of
into a bird?
I guess. I don't know. I think I could. I could make a bug bird. You guys want to see a bug bird?
Whoa.
It's just if it goes in there and it doesn't come back, I don't know what it tells us.
I've
but
heard that those
sure.
were only in the Underdark. That's crazy, a bug bird.
Well, yes, I mean, now that it seems more likely that this cloud might suck us up, I'd rather try something like that before I cast my rod, so...
You want to do that? It's either that or you guys get sucked up and I summon a bigger bird and Davroid and I fly up and just join you in the cloud.
I can
Why don't
also
we
get-
just cast a rod and we'll find out?
Let's get. I think casting a rod's fine.
All right.
Vote on casting a rod.
Go for
Fishing
it.
time?
Fishing time.
All right,
Fishing time.
Willard, I'm going to need you to roll a fishing task. You can tell me which of your attributes you're going to lean into to do your fishing.
All right. Well, obviously, trained in fishing is going to ease it by 1. But I would also say if he's having to, spy out a spot on the lake that seems Maybe like it has some vegetation underneath where the freshwater fish might be in schools or, hanging out, getting food in kind of the vegetation area, like some disturbance on the water as if there's like some plants under there. That would be something he'd need to use his eyes for, and I would assume because it's such a thick cloud that's above us that it's darker than daylight, so his eyes will work pretty well because he's a mole folk. If he needs to use... Well, here's the other thing. He's very precise using ranged weapons that he throws. Obviously, a fishing rod is not the same, but the act of casting a rod is similar to throwing a projectile. You have to...
I'll take it.
Take it back,
Especially if
whip
you're
it
fly
forward.
fishing.
Yeah, especially if you're fly
now,
fishing.
Yeah.
One hop this time. So I would like to think that the fact he is specialized in throwing weapons, or is that just light weapons? He's trained in throwing weapons.
Trained to ease as a task by 1.
All right. There we go. So that eases a task by 2 using his new
Great.
training in fishing, and his precision is what that other thing is called. So
Great.
he eyes a spot that looks like an ideal fishing spot, and he casts out with precision. And I rolled an 18.
You rolled an 18. You definitely cast with precision. You are casting for fish. Now, you can only see 15, 20 feet into the lake, right? The visibility is really low
Because
here.
it's so misty?
Because it's so misty. But
Okay.
you do have kind of an instinct for this thing. All those years where your only de-stress, sheriffing is to, like, get away from it all. Because anywhere in town, you feel just that obligation of, like, I'm probably on... Like, even if you're off duty, you're like, okay, but these are the people I'm sworn to protect, and if something goes wrong, I'm going to have to involve myself. And so you're like, this is your out. And so you kind of tap back into that, like, okay, well, this is, there's misty and there's a weird cloud above, but somewhere inside, Willard is able to tap into that peace that he gets at the fishing lake.
He even has his pack on, and he takes it off when he sits in Frode's lap, and when he does that, he opens it up, and instead of partaking in the 6-pack, he pulls out a canteen of peach tea.
Yeah, of course he
starts
does.
Sipping on.
Yeah, of course he does. His signature peach tea.
Yes.
So he sips some peach tea, sets the canteen down, casts his line, sitting there on Frode's lap. You hear it away, and then a little as it splashes into the water. And
good
it's
cast.
not long before you get a bite. And whatever bites is something big because you feel it pull the hook down into the water. I need a might task with a difficulty of 5 to reel in the fish.
Frode, I might need you to grab onto me.
Gotcha.
That'll ease it by 1, having Frode help you.
So that's still down to 5, still back to 5 because I have an inability in might tasks.
Okay, that's a
as
target
mole.
roll of 15.
Okay. What else can I use here?
You can use your thing from Davroid. He can use a task once per day for each of you.
Oh, that's true.
How does he help?
Davroid, I would like to think maybe Davroid was I don't know if this is how it works. Could we have said Davroid was mindful of the fact that, like, if we're fishing and these fishermen have gone missing, there was a possibility, because he's very observant and logically minded. He's like, there's a possibility that these are just giant fish that are pulling people into the water. So, like, maybe Davroid has, like,
braced
prepped
for it.
Frode.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like, Davroid has said, like, Frode, be prepared. It's, grab onto Willard, that
That's
sort of
fair.
a thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So that eases it down to a difficulty 4.
Target roll
Okay.
of 12.
I don't know if there's anything else that I could do without spending XP, and I'm out of XP.
You can do
So-
effort. Like, you can just spend points from your effort pool.
This is true. Let's do one of those to get it below a 10 for the target roll.
Great.
So,
One
we'll
level of
do-
effort.
all right, and here we go. Here's the roll.
Here it is.
That's 17.
Woo!
Hold on tight.
You pull this
it's
fish out of the
coming, it's
water.
coming.
It is this huge fish. It is like someone took a trout and literally scaled it up to like 300%. And as you pull it out of the water, it's hooked on the line. I'm going to pitch a GM intrusion for Willard and Frode. Each of you, as it comes out of the water and you like get your hands on it, it flops in a way where it falls back into the lake and pulls the two of you in with it. You gonna take the intrusion or are you gonna refuse?
I have nothing to refuse with, so I must.
Frode?
I could refuse it. Do you want me to? I'm kind of cool with this.
Up to you.
Yeah, I'm going in.
You're going in, and with a splash, the two of you are pulled into the water, and
It's a fighter.
the fish falls back in, falling deeper and deeper. You do not get a chance to grab your breath before you're pulled in, and the rod is left on the bank of the river, or of the lake, I should say. So it's still hooked in the fish, but the rod itself is still sitting there on the bank as it dives back in and the string is spooling away. There are a few moments here where Armis and Davroid, you have effectively a round of combat worth of time to involve yourselves here if you're going to do anything. I'm going to start counting down from 30 seconds in my head.
Do we grab the rod? Do we go with them?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's either that or I could like try and make like a marlin or something out of my spirit animal and see if that'll help them out. But if they're just gonna get dragged in, do you have any preference on that?
10.
Either we follow the mysterious and figure out what's going on and take the chance of dying, or we don't and continue investigating.
I say we trust them. I'm gonna watch, but I am gonna send in a magical marlin, a really big fish to try and help them out. Something that they could grab onto if they need to. I'm gonna use my summon spirit animal, and I'm going to get. It's gonna be a marlin that's like as big as a dolphin.
Sure.
That they can, like, if they need to, they can grab onto. But I would like to send it to try and spear the fish that they just caught.
So it leaps into the lake, swims away to go attack. You can't even see it, but you've given it the command, so it's going to go and do the attack. Frode and Davroid, Frode and Willard, under the bank of the river. You open your eyes. Water everywhere, tiny amount of breath in your lungs, especially Willard, who's just so dang small. Frode, because you are a golem, you don't have to breathe. So at first you're like, this is panicking, and then you realize it doesn't matter. But Willard, losing breath, bubbles kind of floating away. You see this ethereal, what color is your spirit animal, Armis?
Blue.
Okay, this sort of glowing blue, like the bunny in Zelda. This is big glowing blue mega marlin. Just kind of zooms past you in the water. These huge trail of bubbles in its wake. It phases through Frode and then boom, slams into the fish that you're each holding on to, essentially. The fish is knocked away so that it's not pulling you deeper anymore. So now you're free floating in the water, but you see a small glow at the base of the lake beneath you. Willard, you have enough breath either to investigate this glow or get to the surface, but you could not do both, and you know that you're far enough into the lake that if you got back to the surface, you'd never be able to find this spot again. What are you going to do in this moment?
Willard is going to see if he can literally hold on to Frode to get his attention and point down to make sure Frode's seen the glimmer at the bottom. Does Frode acknowledge that?
Yep.
Okay, because Willard knows from the previous lake experience that we had that Frode doesn't need to breathe. So Willard's gonna point down with his claw and then kind of gesture that he needs to go up, like me up.
Okay.
and then return to the surface.
Frode just kind of pushes him up.
Yeah,
with all of his might.
Willard, at the very last bit of breath, the world going dim, you burst out of the top of the lake. Too much mist for you to see the bank. You don't know exactly where you are, but you are on the surface and you can, the water is not being disturbed. You can tread water enough to keep yourself up here. Frode, are you going down to touch the glowy thing or explore it?
I can't really swim, seeing how I'm
You just sink slowly.
I just kind of sink, so I don't really have a choice in that matter. So I guess, I'm going down.
As Frode slowly descends like an elevator, Willard, this is the first time in this campaign that I think we've seen you trust a teammate to do something. Take us into Willard's mind. What is it like for him to let go of the outcome of the situation? What is he thinking as Frode gets deeper and deeper?
Willard is thinking that there has been a ton of change in his life the last 3 days. None of it changed that he's wanted. But someone who he really feels like he's found that is a kindred spirit in some ways because he's trying to right wrongs in his past that he knows of, and that has been really willing to share in Willard's troubles is Frode. And so if there was anyone that Willard was going to be in a situation with where Willard knew he couldn't achieve the next logical part of the plan, it would be Frode that he would want to put that trust in and to go do that. So that's what's going on in his mind with that. And so he's still anxious, obviously, treading water in this lake, but he feels better than he would have expected in that he's trusting someone to do something, and it's someone that he 3 days ago didn't even know, but now feels a lot more trust in than he would have expected.
Cleo, take us into Frode's mind as Frode sinks deeper and deeper towards this. It's kind of like a silvery white glowing something. As you get closer, it begins to kind of materialize into the shape of just a large stone at the base of the river here. What's Frode thinking? What's going through his mind?
Here's what Frode's thinking, and in his head, these are thoughts. Ooh, is that it? Ooh, am I gonna get cursed? Ooh, I really hope I get cursed. Because I remember what Harrison said. He said, curse gets the house a curse. It's really biblical if there's fishermen, because fishermen probably got pulled down here too, and those other people don't really breathe underwater. I don't breathe, I guess, underwater. I just don't. But anyway, what was that? Oh, yeah, it's glowing. Oh, yes, let's go get cursed.
And as you begin descending, you get closer and closer until you make contact. And then there's nothing. And on that note, tonight's adventure at the Winged Badger Tavern comes to a close. To find out what Frode experiences and what he sees, you'll have to come back next Monday for the next adventure here at the Winged Badger Tavern. And that's all the announcements. Let's do our player progression. Let's talk about the stuff, you guys. We can start with the main plot quest line of perform a service for Salen, Queen of Gaim. You're clearly doing that because you picked a thing to go and fulfill your purpose. So that's 2 XP for all of you. We have a party quest of uncover a conspiracy. Unfortunately, we were not able to advance any further on that line today. We had to kind of put our facts in the hands of Jasper and our analyst Sarah and see what they come back with. So I think for today, we probably did not progress any further along our trail of the conspiracy. And now we have our personal character arcs. Willard Taffy is on a journey to undo a wrong. Willard, how do you feel like you're doing today?
I would say one of those steps would be to trust other people. Potentially one of those steps. Yeah. And as Josh did a great job of highlighting at the end of the session, he did put trust in Frode and basically gesturing, hey, here's this important thing. I can't go on, but I know you can. Here you go. Also, he and this is something that I think is kind of fun too. When Frode offered to basically carry Willard on the scary magical platform thing, that meant a lot to Willard, and he was able to put his trust in Frode there too. It was literally like he was being able to stay close to the ground because Frode is a rock creature. As a mole folk, that's very comforting. So
I love the little bond that's developing between Willard and Frode as well.
I think it's very nice. So yeah, that's what I'd say about Willard this session.
Players, do we agree?
Oh yeah,
yes,
I think so too. 2 XP for Willard.
Yay!
Armis, you are on a journey to essentially make your way back to Grace. You're trying to restore yourself a little bit. How do we feel like Armis did this session?
No. He got drunk and vomited in a back alley and on an old lady. I think he woke up in the morning wanting to do better, and then the place was a lot more fun than he expected.
I'm sorry, but the whole bit you did with like the bloodshot eyes, vomit on your shirt, you're like, we're gonna get your son.
It's the only thing. After seeing another diplomat with their child and this woman doing that, I think that was the only potential emotional moment he had.
Yeah.
But no, I think he was just kind of giving into his vices.
That makes sense to me. Davroid is on a quest to establish himself as a person of like competency. He's basically trying to earn the respect of his peers. How do we feel like Davroid's doing, Trevor?
I mean, I would say he's like doing okay. Unless other characters, because those are really the people he's interacted with and care about in terms of this regard for this day. Unless something was stand out to them or like something changed their opinions or improved it, I wouldn't say probably not this session.
Well, I mean, technically, he's gotten respect from Jasper, right? And the resources we've gathered is kind of like a bit of that.
Didn't we already do that one though after the circus?
We did.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't
No,
know.
yeah, I would say like Davroid is steadily increasing in Willard's opinion, but like not in a way that like was super meaningfully advanced in this session. But
I feel like some of the tangible signs we might be looking for on Davroid's journey might be things like other characters choosing to turn to him instead of other things.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, Davroid, you're good at this. Like, can you take a look? Or, you know, something like
Yeah.
that. I feel
Yeah.
like that might be the next kind of step on his journey that we're looking
that makes
for.
sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And Frode the Forsaken is on a journey to get a curse removed. How do we feel like Frode the Forsaken is doing, Cleo?
I'm on a roll today. I'm figuring out information. I got a lead on the Fae. I got a lead about removing a curse with a curse, and I'm on my way. I'm in the thick of it.
From the moment you saw Hembleyhoo on the menu, I saw it in your eyes. You were like, wow, this is so tough. Where should we go?
It's just so much option. We're going to Hembleyhoo. We're going to Hembleyhoo.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Frode the Forsaken, for both the gathering of information and for his willingness to act on the information, because we've seen him learn before, so I don't think that one would stand on its own. But now he's actually like taking an action based on what he's learning. I feel like that's a good step for him.
Going to get cursed.
That's right. Go and get cursed and see if it removes another curse. So, 2 XP for Frode the Forsaken. And that is our progressions for the day. We still didn't see much of Jasper. I don't know that there's anything to report on him.
He was the happiest I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
That's true. He was in good spirits.
Yeah, he didn't question the things we did. He just was like, "Oh yeah, that's great that you got that information." He didn't
That's so
go like,
true.
"That's crazy that you like
He
he threw
held
you like
back.
a football and like."
I
I'm sure
expected
he'll
him
get
to
a
be
report.
mad.
Him taking pride in the work of the team might actually be a little bullet point on
Yeah.
his journey
Yeah.
back to
It's a little something.
kind of a
He
set,
got
get
us set
back
up.
in the game. Yeah,
I agree.
that's a good
He
observation.
trusted Frode enough not to try to figure out whatever Frode was upset about.
That's true.
That's also true.
He was done enough with Frode's crap to not try and figure out what Frode was upset about. Yeah, thumbs up. We love that.
Yeah.
Next Monday, chat, we'll be back here at same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern. We go live, play for a couple hours. But until then, from all of us here at the Winged Badger Tavern, Trevor, what do we tell the people?
We tell the people GG's and GN.
That's what we tell the people. Bye, chat.
Indeed, we do tell them that every night.
We are off the air.
Yay.